Welcome back to WaiVER CLaiM, the show where we team up to take down our AI buddy, our human takes, AI verdicts every week. This is episode 15. I can't believe we've been doing this for 15 shows. Kind of crazy. This week is Dynasty Draft Recap. 12 teams, 22 rounds, 264 picks. The Dynasty startup is in the books, and every team is about to get examined. Then we have the Mailbag Claim, brought to you by all you degenerates that have watched and commented on our draft, which is over 100,000 now if you add up all the clips and all the views and everything else, which is crazy. And thank you guys for continuing to support the show and give us material to talk about, because even though the Hall of Fame game happened, real football hasn't happened yet, and we need it. And then we are going to close the show with the Commissioner Corner, which is we're going to argue our legal law until someone vetoes something. We're going to follow us on socials and audio platforms at WaiVER CLaiM Show. Find us on YouTube at WaiVER CLaiM. Hit subscribe and help us spread the word. As always, I'm Rich. And joining us this week and every single week, we got Chris, who is the voice of MILO. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's been a couple of weeks, so I do have some random BSery that I want to comment on. So in terms of what Raphael would classify as white people shit, the challenge started this week, and whoever's on blue team is screwed. That was a terrible draft by blue team captain, trash. And then on Big Brother 28, I'm not going to spoil it for Allison, but hell yeah, wall comp queen. So we have that. But then you also had Hard Knocks kickoff this week, which I know we slightly texted about, Rich, but two takes I have on that. Derek Hall, that is a truck and a half. That thing was absurd. Whatever the hell he drives is absurd. And then also, they keep showing an eagle instead of a Seahawk. I understand it's the Pacific Northwest, but like, is the Seahawk not like a legitimate bird? Like, why are we showing an eagle over that?
Right, that's what I thought too. You know, but within the first 10 seconds, the Philadelphia Eagles in the trade, I was like, I think you're a little confused, HBO.
I was gonna say I had to type it in to make sure I knew what like a Seahawk was, which is apparently just an osprey, and it's just a smaller hawky-ish bird.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll get it right by episode 2 or 3. Craig, babyface, Bing Bong, welcome back to the show. After
thank you, sir.
2 weeks of not recording, it's great to have you back.
Yeah, no, it's great to be back. Unfortunately, I couldn't eat all the delicious barbecue because of the tornado warning in New Jersey during the draft special. But I enjoyed being your voice of God, and I'm excited to be on the show.
Thanks, God.
Thanks, God. I appreciate you. And speaking of God, we got Black Jesus. Raphael is on the show. Welcome to the show, Raphael, as always. Nice to have you.
Hey, what's going on? After drafting with you guys, I got to say, I absolutely nailed that draft, and you guys are a bunch of WaiVER lames.
There you go. You gonna take credit for that, or you gonna give credit where credit's due? We got to shout out your wife for coming up with that.
My wife came up with that one. So I figure we could maybe turn it into a segment during the year, like WaiVER claims that nobody wants or something like that.
All right, we got WaiVER lanes.
We got the Cuckosaurus Rex drop coming soon.
I'm down to add words that aren't words for sure to the show. It makes a lot of sense. Alberto, welcome to the show. Your mic is crisp. Your video is crisp. That means the world is about to end. I hope this doesn't change.
This is true. Welcome to another episode of the WaiVER CLaiM.
WaiVER CLaiM.
Thank you for the shirt. It was a good draft. I look forward to discussing these teams and these players.
Cricket Queen.
Yes.
You're right. Wearing the show shirt to the show, like wearing a band shirt to the concert. You're that guy, and we appreciate that. Alan, welcome to the show. You guys have seen Alan. The previous show was because he drafted a whale of a team. We're going to go talk about it. Alan, welcome to the show.
Hey, can you hear me now? Are we good?
Arguably too well.
Oh, still this little audio I wanted before, but no, thank you guys for having me. It was a blast last time for the draft. It was good food. It was good picks, and I'm excited to talk about it, to kind of dive into it. I looked at my team for the first time after the draft. I'm like, okay, here we are, and we're cruising now. So, well, there's some good ones, there's some okay ones, and ones I would take back. But I guess that's any draft day now, isn't it?
Right. We're about to talk about all those things. So get strapped in. So our first segment is the Dynasty draft recap. You know, we did 22 rounds of a Dynasty draft. We recorded the whole thing, which was crazy. And now we're going to break down the teams, team by team. Obviously, all 12 people are not in this room, so we get to talk shit, which is great. And I think we should just kind of start with team one, which is how the draft started. So team one was John, who is named Milo's nemesis. He named his team I Tied Milo because he tied Milo in the mock draft, and now that's who he is. So there's a lot of people on the internet that, you know, commented weird things, which we'll get to, but this is all about our standpoint on the teams. So naturally, you see John drafted running back, running back, running back, running back. Now, I can appreciate going running back to start because that's what I did. But I think maybe 4 is a little excessive. You know, when your wide receiver 1 is Burden, and then you got Scary Terry and Pittman, you know, it seemed a little like a bold thing to do. How do you guys feel about it?
But it is 4 startable spots, right? Because we got 2 running backs, 2 flexes. So if that was the top on his board, I agree with you because it didn't give him as much flexibility later in the draft. Like I would have probably went, I think he had an opportunity at like Olave at one of those spots or like AJ Brown or something like that. So like if you swapped one of those running backs for one of those, like it gives you more flexibility in the draft. But if those were those top 4 guys, they're all starting each week.
How does PPR factor into that for you guys? Like, I mean, obviously this is a full point PPR league. Does that factor into not going?
Never been relatable in my life to be full PPR.
Well, you are this year. So, what do you guys think? Would you ever draft what John did, 4 straight running backs in the PPR league?
I mean, I probably would because I regret my moves, but some of them, not all of them. But I'll get to that. He's my opponent for week 1, and I like his running backs because I think that they can, you know, pass catch. So they can make up for the receivers that they're lacking in, you know what I mean? Like the depth that is to make up for the PPR. So those running backs he drafted, the first 4, even 5 that I'm looking at it now, you know, they pass catch also. So that kind of balances it out for him.
That's very true. Yeah, I mean,
I also kind of just see how it happened for his draft. Like when you look at the full board and you kind of look at the wide receivers available, where they went, and kind of the different runs that happened throughout the draft, I think he just kind of stayed true to a best player available strategy, which you kind of have to do when you have the first overall pick in a snake draft, right? You either need to stick to a BPA or you need to be willing to start a run. And, you know, he went with the BPA route, and so he ended up with 4 straight running backs. I probably wouldn't have done it, but I applaud the bravery.
Yeah. I should take it back. Doing the snake, relatable also. It's on the wrong portion of the snake. So he didn't have access to Olave or AJ Brown. It would have been, he drafted Luther Burden. He had T. Higgins or Tyson or Zay Flowers. I still feel like the flexibility there would have been worthwhile. They're 4 startable spots. Just take best player available.
Yeah, I think they're good picks, but I'm with you. Not having strong receivers right there, at least a strong number 1 or a service. Yeah, he's going to have serviceable wide receivers, but you need that strong wide out 1. I mean, if he starts having wide receivers go down, he's already going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I personally would never go for running backs to start off a draft like that at the same rate. Running backs are probably the most valuable position in fantasy football. So he could easily flip one of those guys for, you know, an up-and-coming wide receiver during the season, I feel like, if he feels like he has a chance to go all the way.
And the one last thing that I'll say on this team, and then we should probably move on, but when you have the ends like Rafael and Chris, you guys were drafting towards the end of the draft, and he did as well at the other end of the spectrum, right? You make kind of two picks at the same time.
And you take your guys.
This was
it's not coming back.
Yeah, he went running back first overall. His second pick was two running backs, essentially, if you think about it that way. And his third pick was running back wide receiver. So while it kind of looks crazy when you say my first four draft picks are running backs, you kind of really are making three as opposed to five, just given the timing. So you do need to kind of bracket it together in a way.
That's
The
true.
last one on that before you move on, Rich, Milo did have Judkins as a slight reach where it was, but we just talked about Judkins wouldn't have made it back to him at that point. So if that's your guy, you take your guy.
True. And speaking of people who take their guys and all the guys are kickers, we have Alberto at the 102 with his team name, A Winner Is You. A winner is you. Give me the deets. Why did you... Well, let's start with Jamar Chase at 2. Obviously, that's who you were targeting. But like your team as a whole, let's talk about it. Why did you go to the direction you did? I know you said you regretted some picks. Let's talk about those as well.
Well, at first I went for kickers because the Minnesota kicker Reichland, he Reichland.
Yeah, he has a name.
Reichard.
I'm sorry, Reichard.
Grill.
Minnesota, I think they're going to score a lot of points, but I mean, if they don't make it the end zone, at least they get the points there. Obviously, Firebaum is a good kicker for Fairburn. For Houston is a good kicker as well. One of the top kickers, not at Aubrey, but top kicker. But then I decided, you know what? I should have got a running back with one of those kickers instead of going back-to-back kickers. So that's a regret I made, even though I didn't really pick up a kicker.
Can I cut in real quick?
Yeah, sorry.
Did you take two kickers on purpose? I thought it was an accident.
No, I took two kickers because, it's a long season.
Because Rafael hacked your computer and made you draft a second kicker. He's
Yeah,
right next to you.
He showed me his belt that he won for another fantasy team, and I got mesmerized. And then he kind of pressed some buttons.
That much? You mean that belt?
Yeah, that one right there. He mesmerized me, and he pressed some buttons, and that's what happened. No, but yeah, at first it was with the intent of having good kickers because Aubrey, I'm not saying everybody is in Aubrey, but he scored a lot of points. Maybe one of these two could do it. But then I was like, you know what? I need depth at other positions. So then I ended up picking up Cyrus Allen, which they're having good talks about him in camp, and Raritan from New England. They're talking about him as a tight end 2 behind Hunter Henry. All in all, I like my team. It's a lot better than my Interstate of Green team.
Yeah.
Way better.
I've seen that shit, buddy.
That's rough. My concern is Patrick Mahomes. His numbers fell on Sleeper, and Bo Nix is projected to have more than him, and they play each other that game. But all in all, I like my team. But it's open up for criticism. Go ahead. Have at it.
I just like how you start.
I have a question. Another one. Sorry. Why Mahomes over Lamar? Just curious.
Why Mahomes over Lamar?
Yeah.
I didn't think about it at the time. I just grabbed him at the time and went with it. I should have went with Lamar for the upside.
Half of our league, though, in Alberto's defense, like there's no reason that should have fell to me whenever.
Yeah.
But I just want to be clear. Your regret is not taking a running back with one of those kicker spots and not taking alleged woman beater Josh Jacobs on your team?
Again, I don't agree to that, but at the same time, I don't agree to those things, but it is alleged and he's still playing and they haven't said anything. So I'll take the L if they do suspend him. Other than that, he's going to be picked up. Somebody was going to do it.
I was going to say, that's already out. They're not suspending him, right?
Not yet. It's not over yet.
Not yet.
That's why I'm hanging on to Lloyd for dear life, but I need to cut him because he sucks. All right. So I will say, Alberto, this draft was a lot better than I've seen you drafts. Like, obviously, you just got to get past the kicker thing and you'll be good. But you already dropped one of the kickers. So this whole defense of you loving kickers is out the window. You like to scoop the rookies, which is good. You're already making moves. So The team is not what it is on the screen. It has changed since then, and it's for the better. So congratulations, Alberto. You're evolving with fantasy football here. And speaking of a full evolution, you got Team 3, who is actually the winner of the league. We're talking about my team. And, we'll get to the mailbag claim. I don't want to ruin
I have taken there, so I'm going to be quiet here for the most part because there's other takes in segment 2. So I'll let everybody else comment.
And I'm not going to be quiet, and I'm going to tell you why. So everyone's going to see my team and A, think it's a beast because it is, and B, think it's a terrible dynasty team because it low-key is. But if you do not have a base for your fantasy football team, you're not going to win games. And let's be honest, the rookies this year are low-key ass. This is like one of the worst rookie classes I've seen in a long time. So I decided I'm going to make my squad a terror squad. I'm going to make some, waiver moves along the way, make a few trades, and then worry about the rookies next year when I got one ring already on my finger, So it's not about year one. Overall, if you're looking at my team, I do have a little bit of depth with rookies. I added rookies since the draft has ended. Obviously, Joe Mixon has died, so he got off my team. But it was either him or like a defense at that point. So, I'm going to take a shot.
Did Tyreek not die with no power in his leg yet?
He's not dead yet.
I'm supposed to not die.
I will tell you, right after the draft happened, John, who is team 1, said Tyreek's going to be mine eventually. And I said, oh, no, he's mine forever. So hopefully John doesn't watch this show because I'd lose all my leverage. But, Mixon got off the team. I added Hibner, who is a guy we talked about a lot on the show from Baltimore, the tight end. I'm making moves. I'm one that can definitely snipe, low-end rookies because I know them all because of this show. But overall, I'm ecstatic with my draft. Week 1, I am projected the highest score. I think.
Are you?
I am.
Are you?
Yeah.
You're second.
Yeah.
Chris is first.
Is Chris first?
Yes. By
When did that? Oh, I didn't set my lineup.
point something.
By what? Who'd you put in there, Chris? It wasn't
What
like a
was
week.
that? Shut up.
Who'd you put in there?
Rich is
All right.
130. Rich is 138.36 and Chris is 138.47.
Well, we can't help that Kittle's on the pup, man. When Kittle comes back, we'll revisit this. It's okay. But anyway, go ahead. I want you guys to roast me. I'm here for it. If you want to praise me, that's fine too. I'm here for that as well. But what do you guys think about my squad?
Besides the fact that it's old, kind of like you, but it's old. I think the thing that was interesting about your draft strategy, it's not really a roast, but not taking a receiver until the 5th round was kind of the opposite of what we just do, or the same thing we just talked about with John's team, right? Like in such a pass heavy league, you're really relying on Gibbs, Barkley, and Henry, which are 3 powerhouse running backs. So it's probably going to work out for you, right? But I do kind of wonder how your wide receiver core is going to perform, as a lot of them are way past their prime or number 2 guys on their team.
Fair.
See, now what's funny with that though is he got away with T. Higgins, and I had T. Higgins last year, and he was a monster. He was an absolute beast. He was my wide one for the longest time because I was kind of in the same boat, right? Yeah. Thanks, Chris, for giving him. And he got me so much for that. So I think he got out like a bandit, even though he picked on the 5th for a wideout.
Right.
I love T. Higgins. It's really, and the stack with Burrow, someone just said it. I'm sorry if whoever I'm talking over, but that's great too. But Adams is, and Evans, both of them are guys at the twilight of their career. They've been good for a long time. You have to wonder when the wheels start to come off.
And the Rams want to trade Adams.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
They're off the table now.
I know not anymore. That's another discussion.
Yeah.
And if anything, that substation is going to take out Evans. So I think that's a lost cause right there. He's hurt already.
Yeah, he's only a quad. He'll be back. But Devontae Adams.
Always a quad with Evans. That's the problem.
Only a quad. It's fine. If you look at.
And also, George Kittle's going to tear his ACL week 4, and Travis Kelce is going to get hurt because he's fat and married now. I don't know. There's your team was like really good 3 years ago. Is the thing. 3 years ago, this team dominates this league. I don't know what it does this year.
This is the definition of a glass cannon right here. This is what we're watching.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, you talk about the wide receivers, but I would say that T. Higgins and Devontae Adams are wide receiver 2 and wide receiver, like 1 and 2 for wide receiver 2s, if you're looking at the league as a whole. So, I like the upside where I took them. Obviously, I sniped a few guys that weren't on teams at the time. Stephon Diggs worked out. Tyreek.
That's a big one.
Yeah. So, I mean, my team was all about
I'm
taking
excited to see your trade because it's not a dynasty team, but also I haven't done a dynasty league, and I want to see how you trade. Is what I'm curious about that. You seem pretty confident in it, so like I just want to see it happen.
I do be trading. We'll see it. But anyway, enough about me. Team 4 is Kevin. Kevin, I know he watches the show. Kevin has been on the show. Shout out to Kevin. Kevin, I think your draft was pure ass, but I will not put it off. I'm going to let someone else take it over. Number 4, my guy K. Liblow. What do we think about Team 4? Anyone love it?
His first pick was great.
I love JSN.
His first pick was great. I think he went quarterback way too early. Josh Allen is pretty good for fantasy, but going QB in round 2 is kind of crazy. And then it just kind of went off the rails from there.
I think that was like a reasonable range based on the tool, but for me personally, it's like you generally make a choice between a high tight end and a high QB, which he did because Kincaid was 10th round?
Yeah.
But I generally lean tight end. I'm perfectly fine streaming a quarterback. But yeah, it feels underwhelming to me. That's pretty much all I got.
I think it went off the rails with, it started around 6. Like, I can justify the first, 5 picks, but with the Alex Pierce followed up by an Omar Cooper, I think Omar Cooper was the reach of the entire draft. I mean, you guys see Claiborne later on down there, but, Cooper...
Claiborne with MILO is number 1.
Yeah, Cooper's got to be, close behind, going right after Evans. I mean, Cooper obviously is going to be good. I hope he's good. He's a Jet, though. And he's not the number 1 on his team. I just think after that, you took Charbonnet, who's coming off of an injury, who might lose his job to Price. You got J.K. Dobbins, who is absolutely going to lose his job. I don't even know if he has it now. I would say Harvey is the starter. And then, you got Jonah Coleman coming in. Kincaid was terrible last year as far as stats go. You have, him and Knox that are on the team, splitting snaps. And then Myers, he's one of 4 wide receivers on the team, and then Tracy. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out. He's got a lot of players on this team that don't necessarily have a clear-cut role. And I think he might be picking first next year if I had to choose.
I was going to say, Milo's reaction, didn't mind Allen. JSN, great. Olave at 45 was good value. But the one question you ask is, your week 1 RB2, who is it without looking at your phone between Etienne, Charbonnet, Dobbins, Connor, Tracy?
It's not going to be Charbonnet.
Top running backs, and I feel like I'm in better shape than that.
Yeah. I mean, what WaiVER just said is true. I mean, it's not going to be Charbonnet. He won't be back here, and Connor, based on what I'm seeing, I don't think Connor has a role on his team right now. So, it's probably...
To be honest, I think Etienne kind of took a hit once Alvin Kamara decided to restructure his contract.
Right.
And it feels like that's going to be a timeshare for sure.
So I just want to shout out Kevin. Thank you for taking the hit so we can all get players around you. I appreciate drafting next to you, and let's do it again sometime. Right over. Craig, you're up next. You were Team 5, number 1 on our hearts, number 5 on the board. Let's talk about your team. How do you think you did?
I think I did all right. I don't really love being in the middle of the draft board. I like being able to start a run or kill a run towards towards either the front or back of the draft. So from that perspective, I felt like I was very reactive as opposed to setting a tone and like really taking the players that I wanted. I did that at a few spots where I just said, screw the draft, just take the guy you want, even if it's a reach. I got a little behind on drafting running backs, especially as like you and John took pretty much every running back in the first couple of rounds. So I'm not in love with my running backs. I think I have a lot of value at wide receiver, though, especially like picking up Tank Dell late, who I think can have a big bounce back season, potentially be comeback player of the year. My quarterbacks are good. Maybe a little bit of a reach with the rookie Simpson, but figured I'd stash someone for Dynasty. At that point in a draft, I don't know. I don't think you're getting a ton of value, so might as well just take something that you might be able to turn into a draft pick. I don't know. I'm happy with it. I'm not thrilled with it, but I think I did fine for the 5th overall pick. I think Hawkinson is another player that I got late in the draft who could have a lot of value if he stays healthy.
So my question to you is, if you had these running backs on the board again, who would you take? Kyron Williams, Henderson, Irving, and Brees. Who would you take if you can do it over again?
I'd probably still take Brees.
Yeah. I mean, the homer pick is a great pick.
Yeah.
You were real butthurt over Henry, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, if Henry were there, I would have taken Henry.
Rich took it 2 spots before you.
Yeah. That was who I wanted. That was who was on my board. That was highlighted. That was number one. So I went with the homer pick. Of those 3, is Brees the best? Probably not, but I'd rather have the same vested interest on Sundays, right? Like just root for the same player. Maybe a little selfish, but that's kind of the route that I would go.
That's definitely not how you should play fantasy, 1. And I would say 2, arguably the worst pick of the drafts is Brandon Ayuk. He's done. He's toast, especially after Diggs signed with the Commanders.
That was a joke pick. I think Craig did that just like for a good clip, because we were like, the guy you won't. He's like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, at that round, I really didn't care. But yeah, he's not doing anything. Yeah, that was pure. And our AI clipping agent didn't even identify that as a good clip. So
really didn't. Yeah,
really terrible pick.
Right. I mean, maybe
your draft felt very meat and potatoes. Like there wasn't much like wildly exciting, but it's who you had at the top spots. I think my only question is 4 quarterbacks and 4 tight ends. It feels aggressive.
It does, but I find for tight ends specifically, I think that's a tough position. I don't think there's a lot of real top tier talent at the tight end position. The way that there has been over the last decade or so. I don't know. I'm throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. I'm also not afraid to put like tight ends in flex positions. I know a lot of people like don't think about that, but I'm not afraid of that. If I have 2 tight ends who are good, I'm playing both of them. So I'm just going for it. We'll see what happens.
I will say I've been high on Tootin for the last couple months, and then I just happened to come across a post today saying that how in training camp so far, they've been letting Tootin start the drive, but then LaQuint Allen comes in for all passing plays or passing down situations, and then Chris Rodriguez Jr. is handling all the goal line work. So that really put a damper on my Tootin hype for going into the draft season.
I mean, training camp is a crapshoot. I mean, it said Alberto like a month ago, some random reporter said, Isaiah Davis is 100% the point back 2 for the Jets. Dude hasn't sniffed it. Well, he has an injury, but Braylon Allen clearly is running back 2. People are just, there's a lot of clickbait out there. I think once you get on the field and see how they're doing in real games, that's kind of where the work share comes from. But I like Tootin. I still like Tootin. He's gonna get in the end zone. Cool.
And it's PPR, so he'll just catch it.
LaQuint. Look, who's LaQuint? What kind of name is LaQuint?
Let's go. Allen Jr.
Oh, so it's his father's name.
Oh.
Shout out LeQuint Sr. The next team is Andrew's team. And
Editor.
obviously can't say a single thing bad about his team because he would just edit
Perfect
it out.
team. It was just perfect team.
Perfect team. I have no notes. Literally no notes. I mean, like, I think he's going to go undefeated. Probably have a dynasty going. He's going to put my team to shame. So, Andrew, shout out. Obviously, you're not a fantasy football guy, but on this day, you proved that you could keep up with the big dogs. And you did honestly draft a great team. It is well-rounded. You got Justin Jefferson, McCaffrey, Hurts, Brown, Pitts. You built a team like you're actually supposed to draft a team. You filled out your positions, and then you kind of just did depth. So shout out to the editor-in-chief, Andrew.
With this, and it kind of goes back to my team a little bit. This was the start of the fall of Puka Nacua in our draft, which I did not see that coming when I didn't want to take him.
I saw it coming, honestly.
Well,
I actually discussed it.
I assume I knew I didn't want to take Puka Nacua. I just not my favorite player on the board. I like Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm a big Detroit Lions stan. But I thought for sure he would be the next pick. Didn't have a doubt in my mind. And we'll get to it, obviously. But him going at 10 is just, it's ludicrous. It was like a real life draft day fall where it felt like, I don't know, people panicked that he didn't get taken in my slot and didn't know what to do with it. And Raphael, you almost got lucky. You almost got the steal of the draft, but
that would have changed the whole trajectory of my draft, to be honest, if I got Puka.
I was going to say, I would have taken it. I understand the caution to not taking it because dude's giving me Antonio Brown and a end of career vibes, and I don't want that with my number 1 overall pick. So I'm glad I was not put in the position of selecting him, even though I know top 5 guy. Just doesn't give me the warm fuzzies.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Puka Fallen because it was our most watched clip of all time. You guys obviously commented on that more than literally anything we've ever posted. So you guys thought that he should have went 5 or sooner, which is normally where he goes. So
I get it.
I get it too. The next team is Vin's team. So Raphael, I'm going to give you the floor. This is your boy. Shit all over him. What do you got?
I mean, I actually don't hate his team too much. He kind of went the young route. In defense of him, a couple of his picks later on, he actually was on auto draft, and he was because he was driving from some work party that he went to, and he wasn't able to look at his phone. So when he took, Claiborne from Minnesota in round 12, that was an auto draft pick. The Tesla pick was an auto draft pick. His last pick was a kicker that got cut by the Cowboys 4 years ago. That was obviously an auto draft pick. So
Claiborne
kind
is
of in
ranked
his
that high in
defense.
Sleeper?
What?
Claiborne ranked that high in Sleeper? I'm just legitimate question.
He queued up the players he wanted, but he didn't put them in any kind of order.
Gotcha.
So he probably just kind of was going down the list and adding, players to his queue. But as you add players to your queue, I'm pretty sure players get moved down. So that's kind of what happened with him. He kind of went young, I know he's been obsessed with Ladd. He's been trying to trade for Ladd in a different league I'm in with him forever, and he just has not been able to get him. I'm a little surprised he took Rashee Rice just because he has him in my league also, and he's always complaining about the guy, and he's always trying to trade him away, but nobody wants anything to do with Rashee Rice. I don't know. He's a homer. He's gay. I like the Likely pick. I mean, he got Likely and Dart. That's a nice stack. But yeah, I don't mind his team so much. I would say rounds 12 and after are a bit of a problem, except for, Antonio Williams was interesting before, but now that Debo signed, now that Stephon Diggs signed there, Antonio Williams kind of took a hit there. But I don't know. He knows what he's doing for the most part. But it's good that his team's not too good because he's one of the biggest braggarts that I know. So, and if anything, I know that he hates his team. So,
how do we feel about Daniels over Lamar? Because like I like Daniels a lot. Like when he took him, I was hoping Daniels would be the one to fall to me because I didn't expect Lamar to fall to me. So when he took Daniels, I was like a little upset. But then Lamar fell, and I was like, dope. How do we feel about Daniels versus Lamar?
Kind of pick your
So
poison.
I
I
think
mean,
Daniels is younger, so I kind of get that. That's kind of always a tiebreaker for me. It feels like they have a similar chance of getting hurt because they have similar play styles. I would say Lamar's in a better offense right now, so obviously, and I'm a homer sometimes. So I would say I'd rather have Lamar, I guess, but I can't get upset if someone takes Jaden Daniels over Lamar just because of the age difference.
I mean, I would have picked Lamar. I was between Lamar and Burrow when I picked Burrow. So that's kind of
I'm
how
surprised you
I.
didn't take Stafford, my guy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I did it. I didn't plan on taking a quarterback that early, but when I saw how my team was coming about, I was like, I'm just gonna go crazy at this point. But yeah, no, I would go Lamar, but it's close. It is close. Our next team is Alan's team. Alan,
Sexy.
welcome to the show. Glad to have you, and you get to talk and gloat about your team right now. We're here to listen. So, what do you think about your draft?
All right. So, first time doing a dynasty draft. So, it was a little bit of thinking about how you do this. So, a lot of conversation prior to, and we're talking about this tight end position, which is always a tragedy. Like at the beginning, like I struggle with tight ends all the time. So, you got Brock Bowers that sits there, and you got McBride, and then it's just take your pick, and then you might get lucky week to week. So it was kind of the get the hard position out of the way there, and you can make everything else work. So getting Brock Bowers, I mean, he's young, he's 23. Now you don't have to worry about a tight end for a good long time. He's going to be good, knock on wood, as long as he stays healthy for, his time there. You don't have to worry about it. Outside of that, I like Cook. I think he's great. I've had him before. He does really, really, really good work. He has some good games here and there. Neighbors, I'm excited about Neighbors because he's starting to practice again, and I was not fully expecting that. I took Neighbors thinking he was going to be out. Even if he's out the first couple weeks at this point, I'm still okay with it because I know what Neighbors can do. And the deal is, right, you don't have to be the top person in the league going into playoffs. You just have to have a really good team at the end. So as long as we can get there, we're good. So I liked that. The only thing that was interesting, right, and now I've been getting a lot of clips and stuff with like Lamar Jackson because I picked T-Law, and I had T-Law at the end, and he did so many beautiful things at the end of the season. He really won the ball, especially at the like near the end zone, and he gets a lot of points doing that. And he'll steal points. Is he better than Lamar Jackson if he's like doing Lamar Jackson? No, but so maybe I'm switching that in the future. The other one that was interesting and talked a lot about was Smitty from the Eagles versus Zay Flowers. Now I like Zay Flowers. I think he's going to do really, really well. I think Smitty's going to come into this amazing role. Completely blanked on Smitty when I was picking Zay Flowers. Now I'm fine with this. I think it's going to be great. That might have been the other thing I've changed from there on. Outside of like 8 or 9, then it gets a little bit interesting, to be completely honest. Then, I start picking to whatever seems to be the best value at that point. But I'm interested to see what you guys think. I'm the average Joe drafting, so what do you guys think here?
So as a Ravens fan, the Flowers pick was interesting. I've never been really that high on Flowers, but now we just got paid a massive amount of money. So I think he has a chance to, especially with the new offensive coordinator, new head coach, he has a chance to ascend to, the next level of his career and maybe have a JSN type season, maybe. So the fact that you didn't pair him with Lamar, even though you are a Zay Flowers guy, like you said, was a little, I don't want to say strange, but I'm surprised you didn't do that. That would have been a really nice stack if what everybody think is going to happen this season, because Lamar has won MVP in the first season every time he's gotten a new offensive coordinator. So he's won 2 MVPs in both times it happened when in the first year of having a new offensive coordinator. So Lamar could be at an MVP level if he stays healthy this year, and you missed out on that stack, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was gonna say. I mean, T-Law, I get that he's he's got a nice arm, but like as far as with quarterbacks, with Daniels there and Mahomes, and then Jackson and all those guys, that's the only thing I would have changed. But I mean, your team is really like front and back loaded. Like you have my favorite player in the league right now with Michael Wilson. I think he can catch literally everything, and he carried me to the playoffs in all my leagues. And I'm surprised he fell that far. But overall, I mean, I think your team is stacked.
I don't know if you.
I'm just gonna say, like, even Darnold later on, like you can pick who you want as your quarterback. You have two guys that can definitely win games. So you got a lot of value on your team throughout, I would say.
I think I like the move you made for Malachi Fields, because you didn't know if Neighbors was going to be healthy, but now reports are saying that he's gearing up to be the number 2 next to Neighbors. So that's a good pickup. Looking at it from when we drafted in July to now in August, it was a pretty good pickup.
Who was the guy in the Bible that lost all of his power when his hair got cut? Like, are you concerned about his hair getting cut in the schedule release video? Question needs to be answered.
I think I'll have a Samson move. I hope not, honestly. That could be problematic. Don't restrict this into existence. Why would you do such a thing? I always have one pick a year, right? That I always go back and I'm like, man, I should have. Like last year, I had the opportunity to take 10. And I'm like, no, I know better. And then, had this amazing season. Now I didn't pick Lamar, and he was going to have an amazing season, Lamar. So I always have it. It is what it is. I will say with the Wilson versus Harrison Jr. So I had Harrison Jr. for all last year, and it was painful. And I really feel bad for the guy because I know he's going through it, and he's got to get out of his own head to really do well in the league. But Wilson, when Harrison was hurt, Wilson picked up and ran, and he just dominated. So I could fully expect him continuing on to do that. So I was very, very happy to pick him up where I did.
Yeah, as long as Brissett's the quarterback, it's golden. Carson Beck goes in there, he's going to throw backwards. I don't even care what happened in the Hall of Fame.
Carson Beck's season based on that Hall of Fame, maybe. Carson Beck's season.
I just saw a TikTok come up, and it was like, Carson Beck's first hospital ball, and he just chucks it up 60 yards, and this guy gets raw. I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
That happened all the time at Georgia.
He looked fine.
Yeah, he was all right. I mean, I hope Brissett wins and does well, but he was fine. All right, so overall, your team was solid. I really, really liked it. The next team was Don's, who, honestly, he sniped so many. Like, he knew what he was doing. He started with CeeDee Lamb. He then had JT, Kyron Williams, Adunze, Laporta, Hubbard. I mean, he got Pearsall, who obviously he's out for the year right now. But, his team overall, I mean, he started super duper strong. The middle got a little murky, I would say.
I was going to say, the second half of the draft seemed to be where it fell off a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Algier, they're talking about him and Love being the 1-2. I like that value there. Mark Andrews, obviously, he's still the 1, in Baltimore. But yeah, after that, it's just, I mean, I could see all these guys after that getting cut or traded. But I mean, his team is loaded, I feel like, to compete based on the front half of the draft. Anyone have anything on Don?
I thought it was a perfectly fine draft.
Perfectly fine is how I live my life. Next up, we have John's team at 10. Again, Rafael, this is your guy. This is where Puka went. Talk about John's team from your perspective.
So John always goes with youth in dynasty leagues. It's just his MO. He'll trade guys in their prime for picks just to get youth. That's just what he does. That's just the philosophy he believes in. So I'm not at all surprised with any of his picks in the draft. If anything, he sniped a couple players from me. I don't know. Obviously the quarterback situation is the biggest glaring, mistake
Bryce Young
on his part.
QB1.
He drafted Bryce Young, he drafted Carson Beck and Jacoby Brissett. He has dropped Carson Beck and Jacoby Brissett since and is just rolling with Bryce Young. I know he's gotten a bunch of absurd trade offers for offering him a quarterback. I'm looking at you, Chris.
Milo.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say he anytime someone sends him a trade offer, he shows it to me. And
I was gonna say I've had to rein Milo in because it's like, bro, you need to consider draft capital, my guy.
Yeah. So I don't hate his team. He just has to have his quarterback situation figured out ultimately.
Right. So speaking of someone that has their quarterback situation pretty well lined up here, I'm looking at you, Raphael. You drafted at 11 right next to John. I love your team. I mean, obviously, it's you. You did a lot of youth. You're a full blown youth movement. The complete opposite of my team, but it works. I mean, you're kind of built for maybe not this year, maybe probably next year and beyond. But you're going to add people on the waiver wire. You're going to draft more rookies next year, and I'm sure you're going to trade. So tell me a little bit about your mindset of going so young here.
So obviously I wanted Puka to fall to me. It was so close, only one spot away. If I had drafted Puka, it would have completely changed the trajectory of my team, of my drafting strategy pretty much. And to be honest with you, I wasn't, even though I took A-Chain in the first round, I wasn't already committed to going completely young. I had a feeling that Milo was going to want McBride, but I didn't account for Milo going Drake London. I thought Milo was going to go running back, and I thought Drake London was going to fall to me in the second round. And if I started off with Achane and Drake London, then I would have probably been in a win now situation where I wouldn't have drafted Carnell Tate in the third round. I maybe would have drafted Tyler Warren in fourth, but it kind of changed a lot of things for me. I feel very weak at wide receiver, but I have a lot of upside. I'm hoping Devontae Smith takes a step up this season now that AJ Brown's gone. I would love to see him have a JSN type season. That would be the biggest thing for my team right now, other than what happens with Jeremiah Love and his usage in his rookie season. But yeah, I like that I got the top two rookie fantasy options, going into draft season, both on my team. Tate's 21. I want to say Jeremiah Love's also 21. It's a good look for my team, and I kind of hit some players later on too, in my opinion, like Stribling and Lane. Somebody's going to eat in Miami, so I have a couple of their receivers, and I feel overall good about my team. I know I'm one of the teams that didn't draft kicker or defense, but I was able to pick up the Jaguars defense who played the Browns in week 1 after the draft ended. So I felt like that was pretty huge. So overall, I'm pretty happy with my team.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, you're built for now, you're built for later. So I think it's going to be fun these next couple of years, at least this year too, but next couple of years are going to be extra fun. Last and certainly not least, we got Chris and Milo and Chris, however you want to say it. Obviously, Chris used his fancy tool like he always does to do this draft with Milo. So let's talk about
my little tool?
I like your little tool. Yeah.
Like my little tool.
Let's talk about your tool. Let's talk about your draft. Let's talk about your robot. How do you think you did?
So overall, like the way that I typically draft, like I like to hammer the running back. So going just straight off the tool and the board, it doesn't give me the warm fuzzies in general with the running backs, but I'm not mad at it. So Drake London, that's just building on my hype during the schedule release videos, because that was somebody I called out during then. So I was happy to get Drake London and his new contract and all that BS. McBride, tight end 1 or 2, take your pick. In the third, fourth turn, that's when it's like, I know I need to take a running back. So it wasn't necessarily top value on the board, even though it was top running back on the board. But I knew just based on how the draft was going, it's like I needed to get one in. But overall, I have 2 wide receiver ones between Drake London and Nico, I feel like. I have a tight end 1 or 2. I have 2 running back choose, I would say, between Irving and Scadaboo. I don't understand why Lamar fell to me, personally. Uh, it's just what it is, and I will take it. Thank you. I would say top 5 quarterback, even though our league does not believe so. And then just filling out the rest with competent players. In general, it was a reasonably young team. It should compete right now, so it feels like overall, like that's what a dynasty draft should be. Young and right now.
Yeah. I will say your running back scare me a little bit. Just overall.
100%.
Yeah. Just like, I mean, Scatabo got hurt today. I feel like Scatabo can get hurt every day just based on how he lives his life.
Furious.
Yeah, he could get hurt just walking down the street. I don't know if he aims at stuff and just goes wild like a ram,
I only need 2 serviceable running backs each week.
Okay. Well, I mean, Monongai right now has the injury, which we hope he bounces back, obviously. Stevenson, I mean, Mike Vrabel just is obsessed with that man. Even though Henderson is clear-cut the better running back, he will never admit it. He will never use him the way he should. So I love the Stevenson snag.
And I'll take it.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I think the robot did well. It just, obviously the running backs are something you're going to build off of. But overall, I mean, the team is super duper strong. Anybody?
I was gonna say for me, good.
I was gonna say if anyone has anything else before we move on, but Chris does, so go on.
No, it's just for me. Like I was talking earlier about, like generally I take a tight end or quarterback high, and then like stream the other one. Like I wasn't expecting to get Lamar. I had to take him there. Like, so is there as much running back depth as I would like? No, but you're talking a top 2 tight end and a top 5 quarterback and a filled out starting roster. Like, it should do good. We'll see.
Yeah, but Lamar should make up for the rushes that you're missing at depth.
I mean, yeah, he can take off and run and score on every play. You're right. All right, so our next segment is the Mailbag Claim. So this week, we got inundated with comments and everything about this draft, which we loved. So we're going to go over them in a new form, the claim. And to help us with this claim, we have Andrew here who's going to read our sponsor for this claim. So Andrew, take it away.
The claim is brought to you by The Pulling Guard. The Pulling Guard is an elite line of sports and trading card products built for collectors. Put that shiny cardboard on display and don't get caught with your cards down. Check them out at protectyourpull.com and follow them on TikTok at @pulling_guard. Use code IOG WaiVER CLaiM for 10% off.
Thank you, Andrew, for that lovely, lovely ad read. The Pulling Guard thanks you as well. They thought it was great. And Chris, it's time for your baby. The claim, the mailbag claim, the
mailbag claim.
It's your time. Go ahead.
So we took a whole bunch of the comments, just threw it into MILO and to generate some takes. So the first mailbag claim for the best attendance to the AARP segment from a couple of weeks ago, Rich, Team 3. Now, just several of the different comments. There were people just pounding the table for you. So, like Steven Arvanitis said, Team 3 Codajet, it's not even close to be honest. Nate Cruz, I'm assuming that's what I'm saying. Ben Carter, Team 3 is the league winner, which was the most liked comment in the thread. Like, yeah, you're going to be great this year. MILO agrees. This works for 1 or 2 years. Let's see what your trades do. There was one comment, Jonathan Smith, who was like, explain how that's a good dynasty team. So I guess I'll let you give a slight rebuttal, even though you did, Rich, and then anybody else could chime in.
I mean, my rebuttal is going to be like what I said before. If you don't have a base, you don't have a team. If you don't have a team, you don't have a league. If you don't have a league, you're not on the show. So, I mean, it's just, it goes on and on and on. I'll take guys that I know are going to perform, and I will add players along the way, and this thing is going to look beautiful. I already added 2 rookies since the draft ended, and it's going to keep going. So This thing is going to look lovely. It's going to look lovely every year, and it's going to look lovely from start to finish because of how I drafted. So thank you, everyone who's commented on my team. I agree with you. I will win. Yes.
Anybody else, or are we just going to leave it at that?
Nah, you're talking about your team like it's a fun age wine, man. It's like it's going to be great. It's going to be great. The base is great for 2 years, and then the base falls from underneath your feet. What I'm really interested to see is how you start to build after the fact. I mean, I think there's no question that you're going to really do well this year as long as everybody stays healthy. That's never the question. It's just in the dynasty point of view here. Where does this go?
I know how he's going to build.
Alan, he's just going to shut down the league.
No, I already know how he's going to build. He's going to say F them picks and end up trading all his picks away for players, and people are going to like.
Yep.
He's the LA Rams.
Picks on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, next year, to be fair, next year is loaded. So, I mean, next year I'm going to have flexibility. I feel like next year's draft is going to make this draft look like awful. But yeah, no, F them picks. That's how I did my other Dynasty league, and it worked out pretty well. So
he is the LA Rams.
I am the LA Rams. I don't need them. I'll take Ty Simpson eventually. What do we got for Q?
Right. Mailbag claim number 2 for the best future board. So one of the comments came from Travis Carruthers. I like 7th and 11th picks, which is Raphael and Vin, which I'll never unhear Vin's name of shut your bitch ass up. Like, that's every time I see those letters, that's all I read in my head.
I see shy bitch.
Yeah, true.
I've always heard shut your bitch ass up.
I could tell you what it really means, but I'm not even going to do that because I think it's a stupid name.
That's fine.
Okay, so it's not shy bitch. I was trying to figure this out before.
I like to remind them that it looks like shy bitch.
You'll have to go through the Discord. It's somewhere in there. It's whatever. Either way, so the comment was 7th and 11th. Milo reacted to it. He agrees. So Raphael, according to Milo's board, had 6 top 50 keeper assets in the league. And then Vin owns the youngest wide receiver room in the league with Buka, McConkey, Rice, Tyson, plus Jaden Daniels at 66. I know this quarterback. I talked about it before. So best future award goes to Raphael, followed by Vin. Thoughts?
Accurate. I mean, like, those are the two teams, when you look at them, you see the youth. Like, the youth trumps off the page for those two teams. So they're gonna be powerhouses for a dynasty league until I trade for their players.
You're not trading me for my players. I can tell you that
right now. I don't even see you on the league. I eliminated you. Like, I do that in all the leagues. So wait. Not to go off topic, but I had to because I wanted to use it for the show. This is the only reason I did this. I texted Raphael. I said, this year, what do you think about Khalil Shakir? And he goes, meh. I'm like, so what do you think about Judy? He's like, eh. I was like, who would you pick in a league, Judy or Shakir? He's like, probably Judy. So I proceeded to send him a trade for Jerry Judy for Khalil Shakir, and he declined it. And he what did you change? Put Rico Daddle in it? I'm thinking in my head, this man just told me he likes my person better, but he won't trade with me, and he's gonna switch it.
It was a lateral move. I wasn't going to make a trade just to make a trade. That's silly. Come on now. And I don't like Browns players. So.
I don't know. The reason I did it was for the show. So, I mean, obviously I didn't tell you at the time, but I wanted a natural reaction. I knew you weren't going to trade with me. We're never going to be trade partners, and that's completely fine.
I have plenty of people like that. It's fine. All right, so mailbag claim number 3. And this was more of an audit. So Matt Clune, sorry, butchering it either way. There's too many things wrong to name. Just about the overall draft in general. So Puka pick 10 is criminal. We've discussed it. We've litigated it. C-Mac round 2, lol. Judkins way too high. Nico round 4 saying too low. Jadarian Price lol. Scattaboo way too late. But he did give the caveat, I'm not going to say any of this is wrong. It's just vastly different. So, like, I I agree, because the people he said were too low ended up on my team as values. So thank you, very smart listener. I agree with all of your takes. You're brilliant. Anybody else want to say our viewers are dumb? Feel free to chime in.
I want to shout this guy out because we genuinely replied to him, and we said what we were saying on the clips. We're saying, hey, we agree with this, we agree with that. Like, all the clips that come out after the show kind of show the reaction, right? So ever since that clip, he has liked everything we have done. He has added us as a friend. So shout out to Matt Clume, a real claimer of the show. I agree with everything he said. It's just in the moment, you just don't know what you're going to do. You're on the clock for 2 minutes. You get a little itchy. You're like, oh, well, I was thinking this, but I'm going to do this. So, it's
or you don't get the warm fuzzies with one player and they're not a priority on your team. So you go with somebody else and just goes down the line.
Nothing wrong with either pick. You do what you have in your brain. It might be stupid afterwards, but that's how fantasy football works.
All right, so before I move on to the unnecessary claim, my claim, I did have Milo grade the drafts. Now realize this is against Milo's own tool that it's being graded against, so obviously I won because I followed the tool. But just to give you all some grades, so I tied Milo, John, C, projected 5 and 9, lowest lineup score in the league. The QB room qualifies for a pension. King John, other John, C plus 5 and 9, best young core drafted, worst plan attached to it. Bryce Young at 207 at QB1. So figure out the QB thing. It's probably going to end up fine. Let's go through these a little quicker. Alberto, C plus 3, 6 and 8 projected this year. Another C plus. Craig, who got destroyed by lightning on this show, I guess. Don, B minus, 6 and 8, solid everywhere, elite nowhere, relatable. Alan, B minus, 7 and 7. Bowers a neighbor, then a roster that follows instructions. Not sure what that means. Kevin, B. Shut your bitch ass up, B, 7 and 7. Youngest wide receiver room in the league. Keeper gold. Claiborne was a reach, but Raphael kind of addressed that. Andrew, B plus, 8 and 6, 4 elite starters. Pray for the Peloton, CMC. Raphael, 8 and 6, B plus, 6 top 50 keeper assets. This may not be exactly the year, but going forth, you're very set up. Rich got 2 grades because he's special. A minus for this year, D for later. From me. You will get the D later.
A's and D's.
There
and
it
then,
is.
And then me, number 1 with an A. Graded as the number 1 win now and keeper value. Like I said, it's comparing it against its own tool. So
bias.
those are the.
Yeah, you cheated, is what it is.
Yeah.
Is
that fun stroking yourself on the podcast?
Yeah.
I love stroking myself on a podcast. It's one of my favorite activities to do.
I mean, if you got the tool, you could stroke the tool on the podcast.
That's why
that's why we got stroked so hard on draft day.
That's why it's only tits up. Like everything down below, you have no idea what's going on.
He does not ever wear pants, so I'm hoping it never, goes down that much further.
Does anybody else really have that problem? Like when you go out to get the mail, it's like, am I clothed? Because that's a legitimate concern every time I walk outside.
I think that might be a you thing, but I'm
Yeah, that's definitely a you thing.
Fair enough. So for the unnecessary claim, first overall pick of draft weekends for the food, as Mr. Softy goes outside my window right now. Stacy's elote dip wasn't close. So I love that bullshit. That elote dip is so good. There was a lot of other good things. Alberto, your mac and cheese kind of tasted like Wawa to me.
Yeah.
Rich, your deviled eggs were made with hatred, you told me, which I thought were mid, honestly, but I get people that love that shit. It's fine. Not for me. Ribs, whatever. Quesadillas. Thoughts, takes?
Well, I'll start because I love food. The ribs were top notch. All right, so I'm just a fan of your meat. I'll just put it on the air right there. It's just delicious meat. It really is. But I'm a sucker for them waffles. What are those waffles called? The Liege waffles, or
So that's the American way that I say it, even though
yeah,
French people, I think, say
the
Liège.
Liège. Oh God, that sugar in that waffle mixture is heaven every time
Diabetic.
it's made.
Diabetic.
I will be diabetic eating those, but I'll be happy doing it.
No, they were good. They were good.
Yeah, I mean, I love all the food cold because, I was running Rick's audio video and, couldn't hear out of my one ear. That drink didn't even hit hard. Next year, I'm going to be annihilated. I'm going to be full. I'm going to be incoherent because I'm going to only have to take 7 rookies and not care about it. But all the food, even reheated, was immaculate. And Chris, you really are my favorite meat smoker.
Thanks.
So, Raphael, do you like any of the food?
I would say the ribs were probably my favorite out of everything. Just fell off the bone, tender. It was great.
Yeah, it's always a good time when Chris cooks. So, speaking of a good time, the show is about to come to an end with this last segment, which has been a good time. The last segment of our lovely program is Commissioner Corner. Every league needs to have some unique rules to keep it fresh. Today, we present 5 proposals that we will vote on live and see what sticks. Proposal 1. Chris, you want to do this? You want me to do it?
You can do it.
All right. Proposal 1. Fab replaces waiver priority. A lot of people like Fab. They like to think about, spending the money. But then our show would be called Fab Claim. So we're absolutely not doing that. Waivers win. That's my vote. For WaiVER Claim, you need to have waivers. If we do Fab, it kills the whole brand, and Alberto wouldn't even have a shirt to wear.
I mean, you could do waiver claims in the actual league. It doesn't need to be only fantasy related.
No. And just I want the waivers. I want the rolling waivers. We're gonna do segments on the side where we talk about the waiver claims. I don't want no Fab claims.
I was gonna say I am a big fan of Fab because one thing that I really hate is if you have somebody that was like a pseudo top team in the league just bomb week 1 and get that number 1 overall waiver priority, and it's just RB1 got injured, so you're taking the backup. I don't want that to default to somebody. Either blow your load with your Fab or don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be rolling waivers. It's not last place.
It's rolling
waivers. So if you use your claim, you used your claim.
But the first one is generally where that becomes the biggest deal. Your first waiver claim after week 1 is generally the one that will be the biggest Fab claim or the one that's most important in your league. There's ones down the line, obviously, but generally,
but if you lose week 1, that doesn't change your priority.
But after week 1, that's what I'm saying. You could have somebody that's a top league person just had a shit week. So I generally prefer it to be on a more fair system personally. I mean, our Dynasty is waiver claim, so I didn't get to choose that.
Waiver. But I mean, so people are going to use their claims. It's just, I mean, it kind of comes, you got to think about when you're going to use it, because if you go all the way down to 12, you're not going to get your guy the next time around. So, I mean, it kind of has, similar thinking. It's just you're not bidding. So, but I'm a waiver guy.
So on the board, I was going to say on the board, who's approving this?
Me, Commissioner.
Who wants Fab? Thumbs up.
I'm pro Fab, but I don't think me saying anything is going to change the group. So I mean, for what it's worth.
You are in the league, so your vote does count.
No.
But these proposals actually count more because we actually have to talk about them. We're actually doing it live. Proposal 2. Trade vetoes are abolished. It's just the collusion review only. I don't think we're going to have a lot of... Yes. I hate vetoes. I don't think, grown men... Yeah. Just figure your shit out. If you're going to do... you're going to get called on it for collusion. We can reverse it. But there's no reason to have vetoes in the league unless there's trifling people in the league that you have to put it in place for. Or I will say Alberto, we did have to put it in place for you because you decided to trade your entire team, and people got butthurt about it. It won't happen again because you've lived, you learned, you got loves. But like back in the day, that's why we have a veto on interstate green. But you don't need a veto in the league. I think we can all agree with that. Yes? No veto?
I agree.
All right. No vetoes for waiver claim. Proposal 3, move the trade deadline back, which means we have a later trade deadline around week 12 or 13. It's a dynasty league. There's some dyno leagues that never put a trade deadline in. And I think things can get crazy because you're going to have playoff teams that are going to cherry pick, the bottom feeders. So I believe in having a trade deadline. It's just, I like the later one, week 12 or 13. I'm down for either. I would say yes. Yes.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
You know what? So the playoffs for us is the 14th, week 14.
I think 14. Yeah, 14 on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
All right.
Yeah, I'm good with it too. In the league that I run, we have a much later trade deadline. I think it's week 13, perhaps, but
I put it
works
as late
out.
as possible.
Yeah, 13 is probably what it's going to be. It keeps it interesting. So
I was going to say, whatever the last one on the drop-down list is what I choose.
all right. Proposal 4, consolation bracket must have stakes. Now, for me, I think the only reason people stay invested in a fantasy league if you're eliminated is to get the number 1 pick. So if it was me voting, which I'm about to vote with you guys, I would say the winner of the consolation bracket gets the first overall pick. And then from there, we kind of do reverse order. That's how it
I
works.
was going to say, what's the deal in our league? I'm actually curious about this. I don't know how we're treating it because I'm intrigued on the consolation bracket mattering.
Yeah, I waited to put it in. I could put it in at any time. That's what she said. But once you're eliminated, I feel like your team needs to stay strong. So in Rayfel, in our other dynasty league, the winner of the bracket gets the first overall pick, and that could be a team.
I'll go one step further. I think the winner of the consolation bracket gets the number 1 pick. Whoever came in second in the consolation bracket gets the number 2 pick, and so on. And that way, that discourages tanking of any kind. If you're going to tank, guess what? You're going to end up with the 6th overall pick. You're not getting a 2nd pick.
I'm down for
I was going to say, I'm fine with that for our league. I don't know what it was decided on or if we even discussed it, but I'm fine with that.
Yeah, we have not discussed it until right now.
Can I add a suggestion for the playoffs?
Yes.
So there's playoffs, and then there's teams that are playing for consolation. So since their motivation is to win, to get the first overall pick and not lose, so those that are playing consolation don't have dibs on the waiver claim versus the teams that are in the playoffs, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you could do it either which way, but I actually no. I mean, if you're playing for first overall pick, I think we might have to open it up to everyone. If you're playing for stakes. Yeah, we'll talk about it. But I mean, I could see both sides. If you're fighting for, Jeremiah Smith next year and you can't get a quarterback, it kind of sucks. So I could see having waiver claims for everyone. All right. Proposal 5, last and certainly not least, it might be actually number 1 on my list. The last place punishment matters more than the first place prize. We need to have a punishment. I mean, straight up. There needs to be something on the table where you're going to be publicly humiliated if you come in 12th place, and you got to do it on
just have people comment on the video or on the Twitter sphere or whatever other thing that I don't actually track.
So,
we could
to answer your question, though, cash money matters more. Full stop. But yes, we need a punishment.
So for my league, we don't really do punishments anymore, but the one punishment that we did do for a few years before someone lost the item that I'm about to mention is I bought a toilet seat, and the last place team had to sign the toilet seat, and he would have to wear it around his neck for the whole draft. So that could be, and then, it gets passed down. And obviously, you don't use the toilet seat. The guy who got it last, which this was over 10 years ago, claimed that he lost it because he got last 2 years in a row, and he didn't want to have to wear the toilet seat anymore. But
at that point,
I thought it was an interesting wrinkle, and it's definitely fun to go back, and I took pictures, and it's definitely fun to bring up to him every now and again. The fact that I have those pictures.
Right, you need
Toilet
blackmail.
seat versus whatever's in the comments.
Yeah, well, you could what, Alberto? You could wear a toilet seat.
Yeah, because there's certain things that I'm not going to do even if I lost. So like,
Oh, that was the comment. I could do that. You would wear a toilet seat, is what you're saying.
correct.
Okay, all right, cool. Alberto
If
wants
I
to wear a
lost.
toilet seat. Let's bring it.
If I lose.
All right, whatever you're into, man. Your kink is your kink. So we will open it up to everyone. Like, whatever you think our punishment should be, drop it in the comments. I will make this a clip as well, so you guys don't have to watch an hour and 16 minutes unless you want to, which we appreciate you watching it. But we'll make it a clip. Everyone vote on what our punishment should be, and I think people will actually comment on that because they're a little sick, and I love it. But that was
You
our
heard
last
it here first. Alberto will not go to a WNBA game as the last place punishment.
Oh, I would.
Uh,
I thought maybe that was one of the things you wouldn't do.
Got the new Philadelphia team coming soon.
there you go.
You saw the guy from the NBA that he wants to join the WNBA?
And that's where we stop the show. Anybody have anything else before we end this lovely show of ours? Nope. All right, we're gonna end on Inez Cantor. Perfect. So this has been WaiVER CLaiM. I want to thank Alberto, Craig, Rafael, Alan. I mean, do I thank
Alan.
Craig? What? Alan. Do we really thank Craig?
Alan.
Do we thank the weather? Andrew, sorry, he dropped out a while ago, but you got it. Please, if you're new here, subscribe. If you got 2 minutes, leave us a review. Genuinely helps the show. We're up to 50 subs. We want to double that. If the show is moving and grooving, we're getting tons of views, tons of comments. It actually makes this really fun to look at all this stuff that you guys are posting. Preseason's back. Hall of Fame games happen. Preseason is continuing. We do not have a lull in football from now until February, and that feels great. Again, follow us on all socials, WaiVER CLaiM Show. And remember to keep sending your stuff through. We're going to do the Mailbag Claim throughout the year. And it's really fun to read all your stuff. So until next week, this has been
WaiVER CLaiM.
WaiVER CLaiM.
WaiVER CLaiM.
Who you fade? Who you ride?